Good morning, TFR.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. It's great to stay up late. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Good morning. It's great to stay up late. Good morning. Good morning to you.
And a happy Tuesday to you all. Welcome to the Ironworx right here on Truth Frequency Radio. My name is Josh Corey. And as you may have guessed, I am joined by several friends and co-hosts this morning, starting off in order of appearance with Mr. Walter Johnson. You may know him as Flat Earth Head over on the YouTubes. Walter, how are you doing, good sir?
Well, good morning, sir, and afternoon, and evening, and dusk, and pre-dawn, whatever it is for you. It's early here. We're getting cold again after having a lovely 80-degree weather here the last few days, so I'm kind of chilly. But other than that, it's been a good weekend. Things are interesting for sure of late. Hope you all are good. I'm trying to get over there on all the channels and everything for everybody, but good morning to you all. Or again, how about Fiat Lux? That'll do it.
That'll do it.
There's other folks here though. Say hey to those folks.
Well, let's see. Let's say hello to Lucas King, LC King on YouTube. Lucas, how are you doing? How has your weekend been?
I'm doing well. Hi, everyone. Just been busy on the garden, doing the same old, but it's, it's been lovely weather. So I've been really enjoying it and, trying to get things in order for autumn and all that sort of stuff. So it's good. It's good fun.
Good deal. That's what I like to hear. And up bright and early down there in Florida, Jonathan from Florida or something.
That doesn't roll. No, it's
it
still
doesn't.
Jonathan from Jersey. I'm
All
moving
right.
back there. Don't worry. I'm gonna be a snowbird, is what they call it. So
Migrate with the seasons, are you? Well, welcome and good morning. How was your weekend?
who me?
Yeah, you.
It was eventful as always, just like every day. Every day is a blessing, and it's like a psychotic dream manifesting in a beautiful way, without meds. And I don't mean that as a pejorative. I mean, like, when I say meds, the medicine, sometimes it's as simple as music or the right nutrition, the right sleeping, being with friends, having some love in your life, petting a dog. There's so many forms of it. So
There is. That's good stuff.
yeah.
And let's say hello to the quiet one, Mr. Zachary Zabala, or Good Times for All, who is just rolling in by the skin of his teeth. Zach, how are you doing this morning? Don't forget you're muted.
And don't get that mute button, Zachary.
Well, I am out of it today.
Good morning, Zach.
How we doing all?
Not too bad.
Yeah, hanging in there. I can't find my coffee cup.
Oh no.
Oh, there it is.
Dude,
All right, I feel
that's
better.
major.
Yeah, no doubt. No, I don't know. I haven't been sleeping again. I had like one good night's sleep, and then I'm back to a couple hours, wake up, a couple hours, wake up. I don't know. I'm got the stuffed up nose this morning. I always love that. Oh, besides that, doing all right. It was a pretty good weekend.
Good.
And how about you, Josh, sir? Josh, how are you? How
I'm
was your
okay.
weekend?
Weekend was pretty quiet. Not a whole lot going on.
Oh, you know what? Wait, real quick. I just thought of something.
What you got?
I did shoot an event on Saturday at this place called the Blue Lagoon, and it was amazing.
Nice. What was going on at the Blue Lagoon? A couple
Somebody
of castaways?
held like a little music festival. It was their first venue, to host and to get into promoting.
Mhm.
And there's some amazing electronic musicians doing like electric violin and this, that, and the other, and a couple vendors. And I covered it pretty well with my photography and video. It was a really great time. And the person whose property was, I didn't realize coral was so, like much of a foundation in some parts of Florida. Like it's like, holy crap, that's a hard substance. But this guy dug out, I guess, his backyard, and he has tons of this coral, and it almost looks like an Aztec or Mayan kind of setting. He had waterfalls, and you go in the water, and it was like
Ed
being
Leeds
brought up.
Scallion?
What's that?
Are you talking about Coral Castle at Leeds Scallion?
No, I have yet to see that. I believe it was closed for a time because of COVID. I can't wait to go see that. But this guy has this property about 5 acres, and he hosts events there, like weddings and different parties, and even for photo shoots. I'm thinking of doing a gorgeous photo shoot there with this mermaid I'm staying with. Who knows? The point is that the place is amazing. There's going to be other events there. I might even have my birthday party there. I don't know, but yeah, that's what I did on Saturday, and then one of many things.
Well, that sounds exciting as all hell. So you're staying with a mermaid, huh? Like scales and all?
You know me. I mean, I always had a foot fetish, so this is really a surprise to me. I never thought I'd have any appeal. Any there would never be any appeal for me with mermaids, but when they're on land, they have legs, so that kind of works. But no, that's not it at all. This person actually, turns out she's an Olympic swimmer, and she holds 2 Guinness World Records for swimming with a mermaid fin, doing like a 10K and a 20K swim.
Yeah, that's no joke.
And then I mean, like, what is that in, like, American miles? Like, what, half a mile? It's something ridiculously short. No, I'm kidding. 10K is 6.6, I think, miles. And so 20K would be twice that. And she does it for raising awareness for cleaning oceans and stuff. So we had a really nice discussion last night for a good 30 to 45 minutes, and I just sat here like with my pollo tropical, just waiting to eat my rice and beans. And I said to her, thank God I didn't order the shrimp Creole platter, because I almost ordered the shrimp. That would have been awkward.
That would have been awkward.
But she's sitting here talking about the ocean, and I'm just like chomping away on like her friends. But anyway, yeah. So it was yeah. That's the kind of weird life I'm living. And then I go and call my brother. And I said to him, hey, listen, man, I got to talk to you. He's been doing this thing called Clubhouse. It's like an Apple app where you get like an audio platform, and you have to be invited in to then talk to people. But if you screw up, if you say something distasteful and the group decides you're a real jerk, they kick you out. And then by guilt by association, the person who invited you in can get kicked out. And then you destroy their whole ecosystem, their whole system of network. So I call him up, and I'm like, hey, dude, like, give me a call. I got to tell you this trippy situation. And he says, I can't right now. I'm talking to Paris Hilton. And like, now Paris Hilton could be the real Paris Hilton, or it could be some woman saying she's Paris Hilton. But in my brother's world, I don't doubt it's not the real Paris Hilton. So, because last week he had people like Diplo in his room and a bunch of other celebrities. And what's nice about it is my understanding, I haven't used it yet, was that people are basically anonymous until they invite you into their platform, and then you get to see who you were actually engaging with, talking with, or So it's a cool concept, I think, because if we are the currency of the future, our abilities, our skills, and all that, without any labels and other conventions, other metrics to measure by, imagine just being truly the value placed in you is truly by the person you are inside and out. You know what I'm saying? So you're not limited by any kind of circumstance of life itself, no external circumstance. And so basically everybody has something to offer at that point. It's a beautiful concept.
Huh. That's really interesting.
Yeah. So that's my rant.
So I started my garden a week ago today, actually. Well, it was last Tuesday evening. I took 12 little pots and put 3 little seeds inside of each pot.
Planting the seeds where it begins.
That's right. Well, there's a magnet in the pot too. Put a little dirt.
I forgot about that.
Put a magnet in there, wrapped up so it doesn't leach out into the soil. And feel
What did you say that did it again as far as the amplification or something? You said
dude, it's great. You should see these little sprouts I got. So after 3 days, I had 3 sprouts. 4 days, I had 4 sprouts. 5 days, I had 9 sprouts. 6 days, I had, 7 days. I woke up this morning and sprout number 10 had just poked its head through the dirt.
So wait, these are what kind of magnets now? Are they those rare earth magnets?
Just tiny little neodymium magnets, the little button neodymium magnets. They're not big at all.
I know you can order them on Amazon. They come in a stack if you order the round ones.
Yep, that's what I did. I ordered a stack of 100.
Okay. What does that run? I'm just curious. We're talking about maybe a 1/2 inch diameter, 1 inch diameter, by about an eighth inch thick, or
it's like maybe a 1/2 inch diameter and maybe like 3 or 4 mils thick.
Oh, okay, right on. Gotcha. And so you put that on the bottom of the pot. You tape it to the bottom of the pot.
I wrap it in plastic, and then
you put it at the bottom.
I put it
of the
right
soil
in the
pot
dirt
first.
Well, I put it about maybe 3/4 of the way down. Put a little dirt in the bottom.
Okay.
Put the magnet in there. Fill the pot with dirt, and planted the seeds.
So basically, this is pulling in the energy from the earth itself. Now that these things are disconnected from the ground of the earth, I guess, because they're isolated in pots, and it's kind of tethers them back to the earth itself.
I wish I could tell you. I wish I knew what the fuck.
Well, no, that's what I'm telling you. I'm saying if it's a rare earth magnet and it has to do with magnetism, the way Tesla designed it, right? The way he described the poles and all that other stuff. And again, this doesn't have to do with flat earth, round earth. We just know that it's a measured thing, right? He measured it and he based it off one model, but regardless, the measurement's there to be measured. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
And so I'm saying that it sounds like it's like wireless grounding in a sense. Imagine being wirelessly grounded to the earth. If we could figure out a contraption so that all these artificial, like in China, right? You have these high rises with millions of people packed in it. How many people are actually putting their feet in the soil on a daily basis?
Mm-hmm.
We live in an artificial construct. So imagine if that could be broadcast, because everything really is frequency, right? And
you know what I learned the other day about electricity and whatnot? When you are standing on the ground, right, the electricity, it like bows up over your head. The 100 volts, 200 volts, 300 volts per meter. If you're grounded, all that electricity is like over you now,
Oh, because
but if you are wearing rubber shoes and not grounded, that electricity at your head is now 200 volts, like right next to your head. Because you're not grounded anymore and you don't have that connection. So you're becoming more positively charged from the atmosphere all the time by wearing these shoes.
I'm sure that's part of the reason that society has transferred over to rubber soles versus the old leather soles that we used to have, that I would think probably kept us connected better to the ground.
Leather soles kept us better connected.
Mm-hmm. I bought moccasins a couple of years ago just for that reason.
I was about to say moccasins. You beat me to the punch, Josh.
I don't like that word moccasins. It has that sound in the middle.
Moccasins? Is that better?
No, it's that thing in the back of your throat that affects that uvula. It just goes, So it's like, here's a word,
gotcha.
right?
Thank you for emphasizing that in my ear.
Yeah, like buckle. You go buckle. It's like right there. And so moccasins, it's like right there. I just don't like it. Anyway.
Yeah, I remember watching a video on that earthing and things like that, and you could get them for your bed or something, where you basically have it's like wires woven into the sheet, and then you can plug that into the earth part of the
I've seen that set up.
We used to sleep on
and
those.
It was actually
those.
He was actually measuring the difference between, when he was earthing out and when he wasn't. So there is actually a measurable difference between that. So this sort of correlates with what Zach was saying, and sort of just another thing to show it,
No, I was starting to say that we used to sleep on those when I was with Melissa. And we had the Zen, and we used to sell grounding kits and the grounding straps. And people noticed the real difference when they would lay in the chair and use them as well. We had one on each healing chair. But the thing is you had to take this little plug that came with it. It was like a test kit to make sure that your outlet was actually wired to ground, because some electricians just skip that part of it.
Yes.
And one day we were putting the sheets on the bed. And so as we're putting them on the bed, we're making the bed together. I said, "Wait, is this upside down?" She goes, "What do you mean?" I said, "For the polarity." I was like, "Dude, isn't this upside down?" And she's looking at me like, am I screwing with her or not? So I was like, no, I'm serious. I think it's upside down. So we flip it over. And I start laughing. And she's like, you're an idiot. I'm like, what? She's like, we're plugged in the ground. There is no polarity. I was like, exactly. Anyway.
Neutral.
Yeah, there's a company that makes, they're like maybe $130, something outrageous. They're already moccasins, but then they're marketed to be special earthing moccasins. They look
Well, they
cool.
have copper plates in them.
I don't even know. Couldn't even tell you. Again, they looked cool, and once I saw the price, I said, well, there's no need for all that. So I just didn't even pursue it. But they do market an entire
Go buy
line.
some deer pelt. Go buy a deer skin. Make your own.
Mm-hmm.
I got a better idea. Instead of like grounding devices, what if we wore like these long antenna type like lightning rods on our back so we can get charged with energy instead of grounding?
I think that would be a great idea. And I think that speaks
Right.
a lot to Zach's latest video that he put out.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Have you not had a chance to see
really good, Zach.
it? It was really good, Zach.
I still haven't shared it on my channel yet, man, but
Isn't it amazing
why.
how I bring up stuff that just happens to be something interesting? So wait a minute. Zach, what's the link to that? You never hooked me up, bro.
That's on my channel. I mean,
I don't go to your channel.
It's good times for all, if you're not familiar.
Actually, it's on
YouTube.
Ironworx on TFR.
And I was about to ask, isn't it on another little channel that we
Iron Realm Media podcast?
those dudes out too?
yeah, I was on that too.
It should be the main channel. It should be on Iron Realm Media, but you can also find it over on Globebusters channel too, as I recall.
Well, look at you spreading about the world.
You can see I have a life and I don't have time to look at YouTube videos, but okay, I'll do it.
Oh, here we go.
Well, lucky for you, it's only
It
14
was well
minutes.
worth the watch.
I'm teasing. Come on. I'm
It's
teasing.
worth what? Hey, I have to ask, Lucas, these photos or these drawings you've been putting in our little chat, sir, please tell me a bit, because I know they're amazing, but where dost thou get us these?
I drew them, actually.
I was hoping that's what you were going to say.
Yeah, that's what I was talking to Benjamin about the galvanic cell and sort of some of my models. So these are my little depictions of what's happening, and it's as you can see, I don't know which one you're looking at, but basically it involves, to simplify the whole lot, it just focuses on the moon and the sun. And so when you actually apply the battery schematics to our world, basically what happens is that the moon becomes the negative pole of that battery, which is called an anode, and it's the other one. But yeah, and the sun becomes the positive pole of the battery. Yeah.
Oh, man. I am not screen sharing well this morning.
The moon didn't always have craters, and it just got too close to the Earth. And that's how it has all those crater marks, all the discharges.
Yep, that's what I've been thinking for some time now.
Well,
Absolutely.
in a battery, basically the anode, or the negative pole of the battery, decomposes. So this is how I would see it. So it actually is sort of a pitting that effect from the decomposition of the anode itself, as it moves electrons or parts of itself towards the cathode. So what actually happens is the cathode accumulates more matter. And
that's kind of scary, because don't anodes burn out eventually?
Eventually, but there's some other little funny things with this system that I think is happening, and that's to do with before I get to there, I'll explain simply that a lot of this was that started me off was actually the zodiac, and the zodiac has metals associated with each of the planets. So, for instance, Saturn is lead, and Jupiter is tin, and so on and so forth. So from that, I actually looked at that sequence and saw that it was what's known as a galvanic series. And this basically means it's a way of telling which metal is more cathodic or more positive, and which metal is more anodic, and how they're going to respond to each other. So in the planetary sequence, lead would be the most negative metal, and gold would be the most positive metal, or the most noble. So silver in this case is the moon, and gold is the sun. There's some specific ideas associated with the silver and the moon, as in money was always silver, and money is moony, obviously. And there's, there's a few others that are associated with silver and the moon, but even some of the elements, such as sodium chloride, silver chloride, and those things are actually, named after like lunar. They've got names like lunar cornea is one of them, silver chloride. So there's been a long association with the moon and silver. So this, getting back to the decomposition of the anode, basically there's something like silver chloride actually is light responsive and actually can build up. So it's the silver halogens that actually can actually build up the moon as it decomposes. So it doesn't necessarily have to go into nothingness, as we're. Does that make sense, Zach?
Yeah. Yeah, as soon as you said silver, it kind of clicked.
Oh yeah, big time.
Because I know silver has
natural
all
solid
kinds
silver.
of, yeah, silver has all kinds of properties that does some amazing things.
Well, it's silver's usually associated with photography, the older style photography.
Just silver screen. They used to use it in doing the whole video and everything. Yeah, making old films back in the day. That's why they called it the silver screen, because they actually use silver in the process of creating the film.
And so this this element, especially when you're looking at the silver halides, they're all light reactive, so they actually respond to light, and that's where you get that sort of photographic thing. But even in the name of lunar cornea. Cornea is actually the outer surface of the eye. So, in a sense, it's saying that lunar, or the outer surface of the moon, is this sodium chloride. And the other thing that's really interesting with silver ions, especially in a electrical charge, is that they're actually associated with invisibility and invisibility cloaks and certain technologies like that. So that's another, just the way that light is actually moves around and gets deflected from these silver ions in electrical charge. So that makes it really interesting as well.
So those people who make those see-through like plexiglass looking things, and you can hide behind it and you disappear, is that kind of the same thing, or is that more of like a Fresnel effect that they're using?
I'm almost sure that's a Fresnel effect.
Those.
Yeah.
Yeah. From what I've seen, Chris, the guy who made that one from the
yeah, he had
like
the guy
that was what he had going on. Yeah. Real quick before we go to break, just thinking of this whole thing through. So if this process is kind of what's been going on, what if at times when that process goes into certain extremes, either one way or the other, there's actually this substance that's formed, and this substance being heavier than air would fall to the earth. And being silver is so filled with good things for our body, and it's supposed to have these antibacterial properties and things that would keep you in a healthy state. Is that possibly where the idea for manna falling from heaven came from?
I'm not sure that as the anode is more attractive and oxygenating, so it's associated with air and oxygen and sort of that.
Silver, colloidal silver, that idea, how it sheds it off into the water. So if that shedding off into the atmosphere became so increased at some point due to some kind of imbalance in the electrical nature, resetting, whatever. I don't know, just thinking aloud.
Yeah. Definitely, and same with the gold. I mean, there's what's that, monatomic gold?
Right.
So there's
yeah. No doubt. See, and I didn't even think I'm the silver guy, but the gold, yeah, no doubt. Wow, dude. So the picture we're talking about, it's hard to see, obviously, here on the show with it being radio, but I will include it in, or both actually, in our show description, and I'll try not to cover it up with anything else and leave it just so you can guys can get a good look at it. And we'll definitely share it with you probably this Friday on the show on the YouTubes, so you can get a good look at it. Pretty amazing stuff. And well done.
We got right now should be break music.
Reviews for Extendivite are amazing. Here are some from Amazon. September 2018. Extendivite works in keeping my blood pressure in the normal range. I've been using Extendivite for many years now. May 2018. Great product. I use regularly and I rarely get sick. March 2018. This product has relieved what appeared to be angina pain in my chest and shortness of breath after climbing stairs. I'm quite happy about it. February 2018. My husband, son, and I have been using this product for a few months now, and we have noticed an improvement in our joints and blood pressure. Tell us your story. Get Extendivite today. To order, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822, or visit heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendivite.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
It's a great product. And the one thing I like about it the most is that when you open the bottles, you can smell like the scent of the fruits and veggies. It's no genius thing to it. It's really just fruits and veggies, which everyone needs. And you guys kind of put it in a way where you can take it easy and you can get it, and it's natural. And that's what I like about it. You know, I like the product, and I've taken it, and it's definitely made me feel a lot better. You know, I am a healthy person to begin with, but it's definitely good prevention, and it's definitely gives me energy. I feel like it's a natural thing. I like it. I really do.
For a limited time, use discount code TALK to receive a 50% discount on your first preferred whole health system and have it shipped to you free. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com. Again, use discount code TALK.
True initiation is an inward journey. It's a spiritual path that is totally inward. It has nothing to do with anything external to you.
I want to determine if the grand architect is indeed what I believe it to be, which is the artificial intelligence.
The initiatory path is one of self-discovery and self-revealing. It's not a journey that someone can hold your hand through.
Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I want to take you through the steps of initiation. Remember, you are divinity.
Step Beyond the Veil with Chris and Sherry Geo. Fridays and Saturdays, 7 p.m. to 10 p.m.
You're listening to the Truth Frequency Radio Network.
No hate, no hype, no fear.
is Tuesday, my dudes.
Hi, this is Alan. I like Ironworx because it's where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came.
I love Ironworx with Josh, Walt, and Zach. It's like sitting in your front room having a cosy chat with your best friends.
Hi, it's Diva here, and I just want you to know that Ironworx with Josh, Walt, and Zach, it's definitely my favourite dose of reality. Come join the family and keep it flat.
Why sleep in when you could get your dose of iron in the morning? Listen to the Ironworx on TFR.
This is Enlightened Dawn. Roses are red, violets are blue. Iron Realm Media is the best on the plane. To this show, I will forever be true. You guys are truly the best, and I love you guys. I'm so thankful to have you in my life.
Do you like listening to space letters from Never a Straight Answer? Then tune in to The Ironworx with Zach, Walter, and Josh. Break clear of the fear on the Ironworx and become an Iron Scout.
For you.
And welcome back. Second segment of the first half of the show. Seems Jonathan from Jersey has disappeared on me. If he's smart, he's sleeping. Because it's early.
Well, do you want me to keep running with this? Or?
Hell yeah, keep running with it.
Hells to the L's.
Okay. And Zach, you can help me out as well, because you know a bit about this as we go along. So if I miss anything, just let me know. So going back to the battery idea, basically we also have a cold moon and a hot sun. So just from that differential in heat, you get an energy transfer. And this type of cell that's based on heat differential is called a thermogalvanic cell. So just from those two things alone, we can actually get a...
Is that like a Peltier?
Like what?
Is that like a Peltier chip?
I'm not sure what that is.
Like a plate. It's like a Peltier plate where one side is hot and one side's cold, and it never mind. Go ahead. Didn't interrupt.
Does it set up electric charge? Yeah, it's basically it. Like you can, what's the examples we've seen, Zach, where you basically heat the end of a wire and it's hooked up to a voltmeter, and that will actually give a differential.
Okay, say that again now.
You remember when we were looking at the thermogalvanic batteries and how you would heat up one side of a wire and hook it up to a voltmeter, and that would actually give you a voltage?
Yeah, the potential difference, the heat. Yeah, because electricity can be shown in three ways: heat, sound, and light. It can transfer. So all of those three different interactions are all giving off electricity, creating that potential difference and creating that energy flow.
Difference to what? Difference to the vacuum of space?
Well, no, just difference to the air around it. Or difference to the other end of the wire. Like you charge one end of the wire, so there's a strong potential at that end, and at the other end of the wire, there's no potential. It's just, whatever the air is around it. So all that potential in one end rushes to the other end of the wire, creating a current flow.
It's almost like, having a seesaw and tipping it one way, and then all of a sudden everything wants to flow downhill. So it's the same thing. It would be like, instead of the seesaw idea, it's basically you heat one side and then it wants to flow to the other side. So it's almost like a gradient in that sense. That makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
So, just from the cold of the moon and the heat of the sun, we get a differential, and we can see there's an energy transfer there. And then that would be one sort of battery, and then you'd have the galvanic cell, which is a secondary sort of modality as well, and they both coalesce and overlay on each other. Now, the main drivers for the galvanic cell is through electrochemical means. every battery derives its energy from electrochemical mechanisms. So the main drivers, or the main chemicals in a battery, are actually sulfur, salt, and usually the salt water, which is an electrolyte, and then the sulfur. So the battery's a little bit different in how I have overlaid it onto our world, in that basically the sulfurs are derived from, say, the Earth volcanic activity. So they can get up into the atmosphere through volcanic activity. And then the actual action of the sun is able to lift up the salts and the waters and different things as it moves over the oceans. So that's actually the sun, in a sense, is powering or giving power to the whole mechanism. So that's sort of it in a nutshell. That it, and then obviously when the sun moves over the oceans, it's creating not only thermohaline circulations, it's creating differentials in temperature, and it's also creating airflow. So all these things work together to actually move elements around and lift them up. So, and there's a refining capability of both the silver anode, or the cold moon, is able to sort of act as a condenser, like in a distillation sort of process. So it's able to refine.
Well,
And yep,
sorry, go ahead, Lucas. No.
Go. Don't let me.
All right, something just kind of clicked on me at the beginning of Genesis. It says it was just the waters of the deep, right? Nothing but water. That was it. So if we didn't have the sun and moon moving all these things around, heating stuff, and creating all this stuff to happen, would it just be all liquid? Would all the gases lose all their kinetic energy eventually and rest, and it would be all water, all liquid, not just water? But if all the gases lost all their kinetic energy, didn't have all these things swirling them around at all times, and they settled, this place would be one big giant bowl of water, or liquid.
Then what would initiate it? Then I don't know.
Yeah, the sun and moon, temperature differences, electrical differences, it starts creating all this stuff.
Yeah, it's also my
all this
proposition
kinetic energy added to it. So then, matter starts doing all this different kind of neat stuff, because there's all this new energy around for it to coalesce and move and conglomerate. And yeah, if there wasn't electricity, that's why I said that in my video. I fear the day that these electric forces around us ended, because I think it would go back to just being the waters of the deep again.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yep. And it's that polarity that occurs in whatever mechanism from that water that starts the process. And, in my view, our world is no different than, say, a seed that grows just like a plant, and these things evolve and, manifest, not evolve in the sense of, one thing changes, that in that sense, like the common Darwinism sort of evolution, but evolving like a plant, or grows and changes form. But yeah, that's how I see our world as well. Has a humble beginning and sort of expresses itself and comes to fruition.
I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. This whole thing is just, and then the idea of the frequency involved in the actual original voice, the actual original word, frequency, the vibration that comes up, over and over. And I don't know, to me, it again goes back to the idea of the sonoluminescence being maybe the original spark that kind of, because
Well,
we don't
whenever you
know
talk,
what's happening down in that little tiny space. Perhaps down in that little tiny space of sonoluminescence, all these things are occurring. There's a positive, there's a negative, there's an outflow, there's a flux. Maybe it's not just a star in a jar, it's a whole fucking universe in a jar.
yeah, when you think of the word or sound itself, it's already starting to be a differentiation. It's a vibration. It's a sine wave in a sense. And so at that point, as soon as there is vibration, there is an alternation in position, and so that gives you polarity straight away. So
Right.
as soon as you have polarity, you have energy, and that's exactly part of this model is that it's the sun and the moon that work together, and they're both an opposite spectrum to each other, but they work together to create life. So it's the two polarities that create balance in our world. So, and we can see that with ourselves as well, with our left and right brain, or this even we can think of the sun and moon as the past and the future, and that balance, we're in the center, that balance point in the middle. So there's always this idea of the trinity that seems to occur with both the battery sort of overlay to our world, but also just with psychology and those sort of things as well. We get this idea of positive, negative, and the balance point between the two. So I think that's one of the most important concepts that I've actually somewhat understand, and I think it's really really interesting. What do you guys think?
Dude, absolutely. That what you just said too, the idea of the imbalance creating the flow, perhaps. I mean, I actually put a story here. I don't know how recent it may be, last week's pile or maybe this week's, but of this some kind of little, I think they were calling it the swirl, and it's this way of these fluids at a very small, tiny molecular level being flowing, and they can somehow manipulate that, or trying to manipulate that to be able to administer drugs in a certain way in your body, or to administer just different things like that. And the idea of the differentiation in the actual liquid driving those different liquids. I don't know. Let me find the story. Hold on one second.
Well, that's actually very similar to how the cells work in your body. You have a differentiation and it's based off the two salts, and then again, this is very similar to a battery as well, where you have the potassium and the sodium. So they're two sort of, in a sense, opposing charges, and they're able to. The cell wall is actually able to govern these two energies, and that creates a movement as well. So this is called the sodium potassium pump, and it's part of every cell.
It's the kinesin and the microtubules, apparently, that are creating the vortex that this swirl is all about. I'll drop the story here for you guys so you can access it a little quicker than digging through here. Hold on one second.
You guys were
I'll
talking about frequency and vibration. I think the Hebrew language or the Hebrew alphabet is evidence of a greater technology.
Mm-hmm. That sound
just
and
the fact
form
that
have
they wrote
connection.
the symbols that way, for them to be able to, I mean, it's more absurd than the idea of evolution that they did it on accident.
Mm-hmm.
If you put the Aleph, the first Hebrew letter in the alphabet, if you say Aleph into an oscilloscope and collapse the waveform on the screen, it makes the Aleph symbol. And you can go through the whole Hebrew alphabet, Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Dalet, Het. You can go through all of them and say them into the oscilloscope, and it'll actually appear on the screen as the symbol that they use. for that sound. So they
Language
knew
is
things way advanced, more than we give these ancient people credit for. Even just the building stuff. I mean, they knew things about everything. The sounds, the frequencies, the vibrations. They had this stuff locked in, so much that they implemented it into their everyday language.
And like language is such a strange thing to you get into. Like even the English language, a lot of people sort of tend to think it's some sort of bastard language, but it's actually not. It's based on the cube and 7. It's actually a very, very interesting language as well. But just getting back to that high technology type thing, I was just watching a video. I'll have to look up his name, but basically he was looking at some of the these were like little cars, and they were using air to push these cars and rails along underneath the ground. So, this is back in what, 1700s, 1800s, and the stuff was amazing. Underground, what do they call it? Pneumatic train systems and mail systems. I mean, it's just phenomenal and that's not that long ago that they had all these, and they've sort of hidden it. So
hell, they still got them. I still go to the bank and watch them play with those pneumatic tube systems, and it's even as a kid, I thought it was really cool the way it just sucks it up and shoots it back out. But it is almost fascinating the way they have a whole system set up,
And I wonder how much has been destroyed. An archaeologist went in there and thought that they were, they only had this type of technology. And archaeologists, they remove things, take them to museums and this and that.
Is it China
so much
where
could have
they
been
found
lost.
Is it China where they found the mountain filled with like brass tubing, or I'll have to look it up. Some of that forbidden
the
archaeology.
Pipes, all those pipes that they found.
Pipes that were like through the whole mountain. That came to mind.
Solid stone, yeah.
Mm.
When you said
but
that
these
about the pneumatic chutes,
Well, these guys had pneumatic trains for people to ride on. I mean, that's is that around now? I don't know. I don't think so. Pneumatic sort of, the mail, but also trains for people to ride on. So it was amazing.
Could you imagine how big and how much force was created in those things?
Oh,
it had to be
just
a fun
setting
ride.
setting it up and crazy.
Be in Australia in no time.
Yeah, and they had Australia had still got all the tram lines and things like that. So they had trams, they had literally pneumatic travel underneath the ground. So just amazing stuff.
Yeah, I wonder how much Futurama was actually the past. Never really thought about that.
Yeah, I mean, and in one of the trains, and this is, we don't know how old it is, but they had a telephone in the train. So, these are pneumatic trains, and they had telephones in there. It's like crazy. Yeah.
We had Martin showing the World Fairs, people having Skype in the early 1900s.
Yeah, I was watching him, I think it was Saturday, and they were talking about some of the inner Earth stuff. And I thought and that's got me thinking about this whole deal again too. So, how many cultures are having histories of underground and beneath the ground, and I mean, yeah, of course, there's the hollow earth thing too, but it doesn't necessarily have to work that way. I mean, think about the deep underground bases they have. I don't know, just the idea of underground, Shambhala,
catacombs under Paris. There's
exactly.
1,500 miles or something like that of catacombs, and only 100 or 200 of them are mapped, and people are allowed to actually go into. That's
Yeah,
over
it's
a
amazing.
thousand miles. 1,000 miles of tunnels that they know about, that they tell us about.
Wow, that's insane,
We
isn't
had
it?
tunnels from Scotland all the way to France, ancient ones that weren't created by any modern technology. I love these ones underneath all these big mountain ranges. They say there's these volcano tubes. You know what I think that is? I think that's the root of plants that just decayed.
Who was it? Aaron Dover that started the whole
Mm-hmm.
fake volcano stuff. That was a hard one for me, definitely.
Or was it Joey Silva?
Well, they say that the volcanoes, there's never magma coming out of the volcanoes. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm
Yeah,
saying
the
there.
actual
That idea
calderas at the top. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I say sulfur is
I've
released
seen it a
that
few
way,
places for sure.
but the
Definitely.
magma is something that actually fits into the galvanic cell too via a molten salt bridge. So there's a types of batteries that are based on heated salt, so salt in a molten state. So they're actually able to, and I found articles where the magma is actually electrically conductive. So
Well, yeah,
again,
I
we
mean,
see
think of all the footage you've seen of the storm happening over the eruption as it occurs. The electrical discharge is all in the cloud.
yeah,
and
I
the-
mean, yeah, you're sending up
holy
huge
shit.
amounts of
Oh, yeah.
with volcanoes, and this is the thing, they go off all throughout the year, every year, and they're sending out huge amounts of plumes, and I think this is how the main catalyst for the galvanic cell, or the world galvanic cell, is sulfur is actually moved up into the higher atmosphere.
Wow, damn. My brain is broke officially. I think we're creeping up on another break as well. Yeah, it's coming
That
right
went
around the
quick
corner.
too, didn't it?
Dude, it always does when we get into these topics. Liz is getting angry again with all these deceptions we live with every day. Yes, Liz, we are too. Don't worry. But that's what we're here for, is to break them apart and open them up and let the light shine on them. So shout out to all you lovely scouts. I see you, Liz. I see you, Robert Page, Michael Kilpatrick. Diva's here. Hello, Diva. Vornich is here. Oh, scroll too fast. Dean HD. Good morning, sir. Who else am I missing? Dawn's here. I see Lucas, but he's talking to us. Another commentator.
Talking too much.
Another commentator. I love that name. Welcome. Good morning. Rio, shout out, brother. Missed you through the scrolling earlier. Welcome. Glad to have you here early this morning with us. We've been saying we need to get you on here. We will do it soon. What's up, Allison? Good morning to you as well. Who'd I miss? I know I missed somebody. Probably. More than likely. Ben Flat, there you are.
Neil deGrasse Tyson, bitch.
And fuck. Oh, sorry.
Hey, we got a free Friday this Friday, right?
Yeah, we do.
Are we open? What about having Travis, a Plain Truth, on?
Let's do that. We haven't had
We
Trevor
could
on in
do
a
that.
minute.
I know
Sound
that,
good?
dude.
Yeah, he was wanting to come on and
Yeah,
talk about some
absolutely.
stuff he wants to do. And yeah, it's needed. It's absolutely needed, in my opinion. The whole
Reach out for sure.
looking into optics and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of science that needs to be nailed down and actually, because they've lied to us about everything. And they've turned things, this and that. Well, we need some real data.
Some facts.
Yeah, multiple people together on one site, taking as many measurements as they can before the observation even starts, actually getting some real data on these physical places and then making observations. It's going to take a lot of time. It's not going to be easy.
No.
But it really needs to be done. This stuff, to advance forward, I mean, we can go out and take pictures and show them, you can see too far all day long. But to actually comprehend what we're seeing and why we're seeing what we're seeing, it's going to take some time and effort and real critical thought from a group of people. And he wants to get something like that going, a real research, not only into it does happen, but why does it happen?
That will be great.
That's awesome.
We got about 10 seconds left before we hit the next break. And that'll round out the first hour of the Ironworks right here on Truth Frequency Radio, TFRlive.com. Stick around. Hour number 2 coming up right after this.
Censorship and regulation is becoming an ever-growing problem in today's modern media. From the mainstream to YouTube and Google, the information you're looking for is buried by official narratives and propaganda. This is why TFR is 100% uncensored, unregulated, and listener-supported. The shows on TFR are not micromanaged by the station, and our hosts are free to speak their minds however they please. As such, the views and opinions expressed on our station are of those who make them. If you happen to hear anything offensive on TFR, please send us an email to toughtitty@tfrlive.com, and we'll be happy to tell you that we really don't give a damn. We stand for freedom of speech and non-censorship. If you also stand for free speech, you can go to tfrlive.com/signup and sign up for a TFR supporter pass and help us in our mission to keep the airwaves uncensored and unregulated. TFR Live, your uncensored and unregulated protection from deception.
More vaccines. I'm Jack Callahan, Fox News. Johnson & Johnson's investigational coronavirus vaccine will begin arriving in states today. The company's chief medical officer, Dr. Paul Stoffel, says it works.
We had a very high efficacious vaccine for preventing severe disease, complete protection against death, and complete protection for hospitalization. And that's where it matters.
He tells Fox's The Story with Martha McCallum they expect to deliver 100 million doses by the end of June. Despite being warned by the Centers for Disease Control not to, more states are easing coronavirus restrictions. Some southern border towns were out nearing 2 cases of the virus are coming across the border in a dramatic increase in immigrant arrivals since Election Day.
72,000 in November, 74,000 in December, and nearly 79,000 this past January. That up from 36,000 in January of 2020. Now, even more concerning, 5,700 unaccompanied children apprehended in January alone. And CBP says they're bracing for as many as 13,000 by May.
Fox's Griff Jenkins, Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas says it's not a crisis at the border, but Mark Daniels, the sheriff of Cochise County, Arizona, says it is for them.
You're putting the impact on border counties, and what happens here is going to be in America's backyards for long.
President Biden held a video conference call with his Mexican counterpart yesterday in which President Lopez Obrador suggested a program to allow thousands of Mexican citizens to work illegally in the U.S. The United States reportedly planning to announce sanctions against Russia over the treatment of opposition leader Alexei Navalny. The Kremlin warning that would harm relations. 279 schoolgirls kidnapped in northwest Nigeria on Friday have been freed. The government says repentant bandits helped to secure their release. America is listening to Fox News.
This is the Truth Frequency Radio Network. TFR.
Truth Frequency Radio.
The iron you need to get what you want.
Good morning. Here. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up!
What is dark matter?
Okay, we don't know.
That's great. That's why it's called dark.
It's exactly.
Everyone knows all reputable information comes from random people on the internet. Tell me things, internet. The earth is flat. It's like school in your hand.
Dark matter is something we do not know what it is. We believe the dark matter is there, but we have never detected it. Well, what I'm afraid of course, is that there is no dark matter out there.
There was one?
There is no dark matter out there. We need to think really hard. To think really hard.
And welcome back to hour number 2 of the Ironworks, kicking off right now. It's been quite.
I was just thinking. I was going to ask the chat basically if they'd be interested in some of the zodiac stuff that I've done, and maybe we could go through it at some stage. See the correlations, some of the mythologies that are associated. I thought that'd be pretty interesting for them if they're into that.
I think that'd be
so
good.
much of it. Sorry, Josh.
No, that was it. I just think it'd be really good, again, just to sort of get that foundational knowledge. Because I love that you have this totally unique take on so many things that people are sort of familiar with, but your take on it's completely different, and I really dig it. I think people would really really benefit from getting that foundational work.
Yeah, like it's different because I really just dug in and tried to look past some of the sort of stuff that's been told over and over again. I wanted to see how it actually fits with some of the mythologies, because that's where it should really be based from. So you sort of end up with these different, going down these little rabbit holes, and some were dead ends, and you just glean little bits of information here and there, and you can start to put some of the correlations together. And it's really interesting because, in other cultures they have, may have different names for things, or even different star patterns, but in general they're telling the same stories, and it's a really fabulous story, and it's something that we can ground ourselves to. And if we understand sort of where we are in the season, we can make associations and start to, in one sense, it's basically a learning tool, and it teaches us about our world and where we're up to, and puts us in context in a sense. So it's there is really, really, really a fabulous topic.
Well, that's a resounding affirmation there in chat as well. I think people are really interested in your take on this.
Cool. We'll try and organize something down the track, and yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah, it will. That'd be real good.
And we still got to do some kind of show on the element of sulfur.
Yeah.
Because that is just amazing. The stuff we can do with, is it sulfur dioxide? What they use in the lamps?
The
Or is
lamps,
that-
the
Yeah.
plasma lamps.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not sure if it was dioxide, but yeah, it was definitely sulfur. And they basically, what they did was they got it up to a plasma state, and it gives off the same light as the sun. So again, sort of hinting to this galvanic cell, and then just another aspect to it. And I thought it was fascinating as well.
Sun, Lucifer, the morning star, sulfur. Clues, everybody. Clues.
The thing I thought was so amazing was that once you get it up to this certain temperature, it takes a certain amount of power to get it up that high. But you can actually turn the power source down to only 5%, I think, of what it took to actually ignite it, and it'll still keep going. So there's
Wow,
like
I
this-
didn't know that. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
when I was
amazing.
researching those sulfur bulbs, that's what they were saying. They can, once they get it going, it creates such a strong magnetic field that it takes a lot less energy to keep it in motion. Yeah, the magnetic field
Yeah.
is so great that all these sulfur bulbs and lamps that they were putting in places, It was messing with internet radio, the frequency that
Wow.
they were using. Yeah, they had to change them and put these big shield protectors over the top of these things because the magnetic field was so strong it was interfering with other, frequencies.
You know, I just read an article also to do with gold, and when gold is heated, it actually gets magnetized. So that's really interesting too. So that there's an association. Sulfur has always in alchemical texts been regarded as this secret fire. And in the galvanic cell, it would be the catalyst to actually start the chemical reactions. So it's very interesting. And in my mind, there's an association between sulfur and hydrogen as well. They seem to be very, very similar in components.
Well, yeah, gunpowder. One of the elements of gunpowder is sulfur. Sulfur, saltpeter, and I just had it. I just said it in my head. I had a brain fart.
Yeah, well, saltpeter is actually potassium nitrate. So, that's part of the...
That's just their oxygen, like their fuel source to fuel the fire.
Yep.
Nitrates. Just throwing it out there, Michael Kilpatrick there in chat saying gold is repelled by magnets when cold.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, it's definitely something we need to look into a little bit further. Yeah.
No, I saw this guy. I've been...
See, this also could... Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, Walt.
Well, it's just this thing I've noticed. I think I mentioned it before here on the show, and you guys were kind of like, you hadn't really seen it, so you were going to look out for it, is that, back when I was really spending a lot of time, like 24 hours a day, basically looking at the sky, the sun, the clouds, the moon, trying to figure out how close, how far, is it right there? Is it, what is it? What is it? And then seeing, one of the phenomena as a kid, then definitely once I started studying astrophysics, or just what's going on, what they tell us is going on in the sky, something that never made sense for me was the cloud ring around the moon. Oh, it's ice crystals in the atmosphere, blah 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 blah. Yeah, no, these are freaking rings of cloud that I can watch form around the moon. I can watch the moon blow clouds apart, and those clouds become part of this ring around the moon. It's not ice crystals, it's the clouds right up there doing this. So if that's happening, what's causing that? And nobody could explain it except for ice crystals. Well, seeing that happen on certain nights, I'll notice that afternoon, the sun seemed to be pulling clouds toward it. Like literally clouds would be blowing away from the sun, but pieces of them would be breaking apart off those clouds and seeming to be attracted back towards the sun. This didn't happen every day. This didn't happen probably once a month even, but it happened often enough for me to notice that on those days that the sun seemed to be attracting clouds, that night there was going to be a ring cloud around the moon. So this idea of temperature variation causing different magnet power to the gold aspect, to the silver aspect, changing it, again, just seems to be more clues.
Yeah, and the anode is associated with oxygen more than anything, and the cathode associated with hydrogen. So you get this thing called anodic dissolution, and that's basically where you get this adherence of oxygen to the anode. And what happens there is it basically sets up a negative charge. So, this, as far as I'm concerned, this is all related to electrical charges, and these atmospheric conditions again are related to what's happening electrically. We just still need to work out exactly how these processes are happening, but the basis of things seems to be electric in nature. So, and the same with our bodies, and how our body is using electrochemical mechanisms as well. So it seems to be prevalent through all of nature.
Yeah, didn't you have a little challenge out there? Show me light.
I did too.
Electrochemically generated.
Well, yeah, this was my challenge. I'll put it out there. You know, basically, I said, show me something show me light that is created that isn't using electrochemical mechanisms in some way. And it was crickets, but unless you're using sort of, even if you're using magnets and setting it up with electrically like that, well, that is still derived from electrochemical processes. So at the root cause of things, you're always going back to these electrochemical processes. Even the star in the jar type thing is forcing that star in the jar through magnets or electrical conductivity in some way. So it's actually being forced that way rather than. So what I'm more interested in is how these things happen naturally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a big giant puzzle.
It's fun.
Yeah. And the most, I think, the funnest, I guess, part of it is that you never know if you're right. It's not like, there's a finish, really. The more you learn, you could have a model all laid out, and then all of a sudden you learn something and see something, and you're like, oh, shit. Okay, I need to redo this part and add this into it somehow. I don't know. It's going to definitely take more than one mind to put all this together.
Yeah, exactly right. And that's where you lay out what you think's happening and some of the basis and reasoning for it. And then hopefully other people take your work and understand it and then pick holes in it, go from there. And, that's exactly why I'm on a radio show telling people about it. And so they can look at it and pull it apart and see if there's something they can talk to me about or do their own little videos on it and show it out,
What's
So
the
it's
best
cool.
way for folks to reach out to you, Lucas, just in case they do come across something they want to share with you and we're not on the air? I mean, I know, but let them know.
I don't know. I suppose I could just go to my channel or I'll have to work on that.
On the latest. All right. Well, I see. That's why I didn't give out any information, because I wasn't sure what you were sharing or not sharing. So when you get that figured out, let them know. You can definitely head over to LC King channel, drop a comment on his latest video. You can head over here to our channel and drop a comment, and we'll get you in touch with him for damn sure.
I was going to say, you can just email us at ironrailmedia.com, ironrailmedia@gmail.com, and you'd be able to just put Lucas King, LC King, or something there in the subject line, and we can make sure it gets to him.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, for sure. I was actually thinking of doing like a what's it called, where got the Telegram and making a group for putting a little video
I see
up.
people
And
do that, and we keep having people ask us where to find us on Telegram, and it's just not something we've done there. We had kind of grouped up early on Twitter, and that's where we started this whole crazy ride. And then from there, we kind of migrated over here to Skype because of the TFR need for using it for the calls. So it's not something that,
we're picking it up a little bit. We've had a few people join the IRM chat over there on Telegram, and there's we've been in Telegram for a hot minute. Yeah, we've been over there for
because I know our
several
buddy,
years.
Nick from Randonauts, they have a quite active group that I'm actually part of, and should have put that together before now. But no, you guys are going to make it happen. I promise. Speaking of Nick, he's got a new book coming out. Nick Hinton from the Randonauts crew. If you guys are not up with him on Twitter, that's where I see him a lot. And he was just talking recently about a new book he's got coming out. So I reached out and told him to let me know when it hits so we can get him on here and talk about that.
That'd be awesome. Shout out to Candy there in chat. Good morning, Candy. Glad to see you.
See, what's up, girl? And Kayla as well, joining us of late. And shout out to Alan. I saw you there early on TFR, sir. And we're sorry that you couldn't hang out with us this morning. I know you'll be listening, or hope you will. And miss your friend. And all the other missing scouts for sure. Brian keeps sending me messages on my little game, or not messages, but raid requests when I'm not on. And then I send him some, and he's not on. We just haven't actually met up for a good raid in a while. But miss you, friend. Miss having you around in the mix. Definitely. I don't see you in here this morning either, Nemo. Where are you at? Oops, sorry.
He'll be in here in about 45 minutes, I suspect. Well, maybe about a half hour now. He's going to roll in right towards the end of the show.
Yeah, I'm aware. I must be rolling early this morning. Oh my goodness. Goodness. And Pav, friend, long missed friend. Shout out to Pav. Shoe buddy.
Yeah, I want to reach out to Pat, see how he's doing, make sure he's doing okay.
Yep.
Hey guys, I just wanted to stop in and say hey and goodbye.
There he is. What's up, Jonathan?
Yeah, you guys have everything under control.
Yeah, I think we can manage this
We do what we can.
40 minutes.
If I can make one comment though before I leave.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to be holding back anymore. I'm just going to give into the true nature of Jonathan and
it's about time, dude.
Explore that thing to the fullest. So I'm going to crank it up full throttle. Ready Player One has entered the game.
Well, that's something to look forward to.
You know, because either or, it's going to end.
Eat your Wheaties. Everybody, eat your Wheaties.
I figure, you can err on the side of caution, try to play it safe your whole life, but that's never been my gambit. So I got to go with what I know. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because either way, the end is inevitable. And so how I go to that end is going to be a matter of, I gave in to Pussyville and I sold out. So fuck that noise. Jonathan from Jersey is back.
So what you got
so
planned?
We can say goodbye to Joe the Flow or
Johnny in the Flow?
Johnny in the Flow never was.
So you bringing Perceptions back? You're going to bring Perceptions back?
I'm going to bring back Perceptions Talk Radio, except we're going to do it a little bit different this time. We're going to crank it up. Yep. This is going to be fun now. But I'm going to go watch the sunrise on the beach, and then I'll catch up with you guys. I'll have a good show maybe too. What's the next day? It'll be Friday.
Send us a message when it actually arrives so we'll know it's safely here, sir.
You got it, brother.
All right. Be careful.
See it.
Peace to the audience. Bye-bye.
Dawn agrees. She says, don't sugarcoat anything, Jonathan. Just give it to us raw. He already dropped, but he'll hear it.
Yeah.
As I'm playing catch up in chat, my apologies, everybody. I knew I shouldn't have looked over there. Hello, everyone. I've read the roll call earlier. I'm not going to do it again and distract us all.
So I saw an awesome video yesterday, and I only watched the very first couple examples, but it was starting fires without a spark.
Okay.
And one is so simple. I'm gonna do a video on this. I definitely want to try it just to see if it works. But you just take a cotton ball and you kind of unroll it. You know how they're all rolled up, and you just unroll it, and then you tear off. You use about 3/4 of it. You don't want too much of the cotton, and you take a sprinkle of ash.
This is good. I've seen this done.
And you just put it in at one end of the cotton ball, and then you roll it up in the cotton ball. You tuck the edges in, and you roll it into like a cylinder. And you roll it between two pieces of wood, and you get it nice and firm to where it's not going to unravel. Then you take some jute or some hemp or something, just a bunch of little tiny twigs and make them fibers. You want it to be real so it can ignite easily. And you just take those two pieces of wood and you rub that piece of cotton with that ash in it back and forth real fast, creating friction. and it gets so hot you'll start seeing smoke. That thing will actually create an ember that you can blow on and make glow. And then you put your ember into that real fine jute or hemp or whatever kind of material you're using that's super thin. You just blow on it, and it turns into a big ball of fire in your hands. It's amazing. It's that simple. No spark, just friction, and you don't have to try to start a piece of wood on fire. Like they show you rubbing two sticks together. This is way easier than that. A lot less fuel you'll be burning to try to start a fire this way.
Even that jute or a wad of like super dry grass pulled apart and made super fibrous and airy. You can take that ash and roll it up into that. You don't necessarily need that cotton ball. I've seen it done some really interesting ways.
But yeah, that's like some MacGyver type stuff right there.
Yeah. He usually used a bit of bubble gum and
and then a 9-volt battery and some steel wool. You take that 9-volt battery, you take the steel wool, get it around all your, like right in the middle of all your fiber stuff. Just touch a 9-volt battery to that, and that steel wool like burns. It just incinerates and turns into a big ember. Just amazing how simple it is to start fires with just stuff you can find around your house and out in your yard.
So what's in the ash though to get it going? Is it that potassium sort of soda ash?
I'm not sure.
Something to do with the salts, I'm sure. I just don't know what they are actually.
Well, charcoal is
potash.
That's it. Charcoal is the other part of gunpowder.
Yeah.
So charcoal and sulfur. I don't know. I know sulfur and water gets hot, and then if you have a fuel source, it'll get real hot. They say that's how with 7 jugs of water, that guy poured it around that one guy's feet and then started the fire with just water. It's some story in the Bible. I forget which one it is. But yeah, he started a fire with just by pouring water on it. Well, he didn't really. He had, sulfur buried under one spot in the ground right there. And then the first 7 jugs or 9 jugs, whatever, were naphtha, a very strong accelerant that, catches fire real easily at low temperatures. And he poured that around because it's odorless. It doesn't smell like anything. And he poured that around. And then the very last jug, he poured the water on the sulfur and made the chemical reaction to get real hot. And then that naphtha, poof, just caught on fire.
Come on, Zach. It was magic.
Magic, exactly. Misunderstood.
Chemistry,
technology.
So I guess the staff turning into a snake is just some metaphor for electricity. Oh, hell, I guess it is. Oh, shit.
Yeah, most of the staff and that is to do with, yourself as well.
Absolutely.
It's sort of, yeah.
I was being a little facetious.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that.
I think it was Martin. Don't want to, because there's so many people doing great research out there. It could have been UAP. I forget who it was, but they did a thing on the Trident and Zeus's thunderbolt. And it isn't just Greek mythology that has these
For that matter, the fascia itself. I mean,
that's synthetic as well.
It's everywhere. These 3-headed things, and a lot of them have 3 heads on both sides.
On both sides.
And they're not. It's not like a big long spear. It's just a handheld thing.
Handheld device.
We find these things depicted throughout history in all these different cultures. Like this is some sort of power source or something. Whoever wields these things, is strong. They're depicted on the pictures as being, the rulers, the leaders. So what are these things? Were they controlling electricity?
Of course.
Did they have like the phaser gun way back when? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, but they're also again associated with that Trinity idea as well. So yeah, again, that's sort of pointing back to electricity for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we got about 40 seconds before we hit
No,
the break. Swear to
man,
God.
come on.
Yep.
Oh,
Oh, yeah,
that's
everything is electricity and magnetism, and then the dielectric that is being manipulated by these forces, this brother and this yin and yang, the brother and sister, magnetism and electricity. And a dielectric is simply the matter in between two capacitor plates. That's what a dielectric is. It could be air, it could be water is the best dielectric.
Well, hold that thought.
Pure water.
And we will return to Ironworx and this electric conversation right after we pay a few bills.
It's amazing how people have been raving about iAlife all over Facebook. They've been posting their testimonials just because they want to get the word out because it's worked so well for them. If you're not familiar with iAlife, it's a 99% pure CBD oil, but the secret is the synergy between the hemp and the ayahuasca vine, the non-psychoactive component of the ayahuasca tea. We recently received an email from a wife whose husband has Parkinson's. For the first time, he's been able to sleep through the entire night. Another customer reported that they're no longer using NSAIDs because their tennis elbow has been relieved with iAlife. The reports have been phenomenal and much more than we ever expected. Everyone should have access to this. That's why if you head on over to iAlife.com right now and use coupon code TFR, we'll give you $5 towards your order. And we'll even ship it worldwide. That's iAlife.com. AYA life.com.
Hey folks, guess what the number one phrase that Life Change Tea receives by email? You ready? We love this tea. We love this tea. Time after time, week after week, we love this tea. Life Change Tea gives you more energy, a beautiful cleansing, and fulfills its slogan perfectly. The tea that makes you go. So if you want to be on your health game, log on to getthetea.com and order Life Change Super Strength Tea. Packages come in a 1-month supply, and when you brew this stuff, wait until you see the results. Aren't we all about the results? And with a lot of people's health struggling, we can use a little bit of help. Doctors will tell you disease starts in the gut. So log on to getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. Be our next email saying, I love this tea. I love this tea. Get the tea at getthetea.com. Helping America one tea bag at a time.
More than a dozen astronauts have officially reported UFOs. Hundreds of hours of UFO footage were filmed by astronauts aboard the space shuttle. Many of these UFOs can only be seen in ultraviolet light. Retired former Apollo astronauts and cosmonauts now tell their stories of their own personal UFO encounters.
The Enigma Channel, intelligent television for planet Earth. EnigmaTV.com.
No hate, no hype, no fear. We are TFR, your protection from deception.
Here's a message of importance to millions of people who are continually pale and washed out, weak and run down. Doctors will tell you that these conditions are often caused by a deficiency of iron.
For you.
The iron you need to keep you physically fit and mentally alert. Medical studies show that 2 out of 3 women and many, many men lack the daily iron your body requires in a form your body can easily use and put to work. Every dose gives you more than your daily minimum iron requirement.
We are awake. We are not alone. We are striving for more.
So if you're not getting the iron your body needs, if you feel weak, run down, and are easily upset, start taking iron today.
It's never been a globe.
For you.
And no, not for me.
Welcome back. Fourth and final, kicking off right now here on the Ironworx on Truth Frequency Radio. Walt, Lucas, Zach, and Josh hanging out with you this morning.
And Santos getting a look in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, real quick, technical note, production note, whatever. I noticed some gray areas in our chat, and I don't like it, so I was going to fix it. However, even though I'm in the main account, there is no longer an option for me to add a moderator in the chat. Is it because you're in there too, maybe?
No.
Go hit the 3 buttons and see what it says for you.
I can only do it on my phone. Well, I guess I can't only do it on my phone. It's just easier because then I don't have to open up more windows.
No, I can usually do it straight from the chat. It's an option on the 3 dots.
Mm-hmm.
And now that option is no, used to you could go to channel, go to blah, do to this, do to that. And now it's just report. Yeah, you can only report or block somebody now in the fucking chat, even if it's your channel and you are the whatever. Yeah, you know what? I just thought.
Are you on the main channel?
I just thought, is it because we're on the backup channel? Maybe it won't let me do it.
Well, we're broadcasting from the backup channel, so the chat is on the backup channel. So
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Maybe that's where it's causing the issue, is that that's not our main page, so it's acting like it's just a regular chat for me. I don't know. Sorry, everybody. It just kind of made me mad that I couldn't put Boy up there. I'm gonna get you right, Boy, in a little bit. Sorry. Shout out to Hoary Sheet slicing it up in the morning with Iron Rim. We appreciate it, friend.
You're logged into the Have No Sphere podcast account?
No, I'm not. That's the point. That's what I'm saying. I realize my mistake, even as I'm saying all these things. Shh. Shut up, Walter. That's what you say at this point. Shut up, Walter. Everybody carry on as if I'm not here.
All right. Grays should be handled.
Thank you. Now we're all happy again, I think.
Well, just a heads up.
Yes.
The man himself, David Weiss, who taught me so much about video editing, and how to make it using that small hat magic. We'll just say what it is. He knows how to grab people's attention and hold it, He's good at that. And I didn't add any music in my video. I just wanted it to be nothing but the gravy, for the technical people out there. Well, David, the guy he is, always out there working, went and made a video, took my video and put some music to it and stuff like that, and just tweaked it a little bit to give it that feel, And if you do have the Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app, it is the featured video of the day today.
Hell yes.
What? You made it on the video on that?
Yeah, oh yeah. So go check it out if you don't have the app. It's made by Blue Water Bay. There's a few of them out there, but if you get the Blue Water Bay one, it's $2.99. That's David's app, and it's a great tool to show people the flat Earth. It's a great gift for somebody who's just
awesome, brother. That's a well-earned honor you've achieved. Of course, you've made it before. Remember that day I sent you I think it was a screenshot from my YouTube. One side of Zach. Now, it's not Zach's channel. I'm just scrolling through YouTube. Boom. Science, experiments, something is the topic for the line. One side, Walter Llewellyn. The other side of Zach, Julius Sumner Miller. Yes, he is the man. He is right in the middle of the greats where he deserves.
I don't know.
I reckon I had a video that made it once.
We're going to get you there, Lucas, right?
I got one on there.
Brother, you got some great shit.
I'll have to, up my bloody video making skills. No time for that. Too busy trying to make music.
Yeah, it's a skill. Putting together the videos and getting people to actually watch the whole video. A lot of David's magic is he makes them, 3-4 minutes long. A 5-minute video is like an epic trilogy or an epic poem for David. That's a long video for him to make, and he does that because he knows that people's attention span is so short.
Mm-hmm.
And then he knows words just don't hold people's attention. But if you throw some music behind it, for some reason they get almost emotionally attached immediately. It's weird, and they stay.
Yeah, that's some Tavistock shit right there, Zach.
Yep,
it is.
But it's true.
That's a small hat magic.
That's actually how we found our old school song, the Gravity song by Cheyenne. It was in a mix of a video editing suite that I had access to, that I had some copyright access to music that we could use without constantly fighting with YouTube. And I made a video with that song, and it just grabbed you emotionally, the way it put it together. The app actually used AI to tweak that emotion. And so, yeah, straight up Tavistock shit.
Yeah. Oh, it works. Definitely works.
But yeah, the greatest part about it is when you give it to a friend, they can go in there and find all the videos that YouTube and Google will not show you. He's already done all the work. He's got them all in the playlist and everything. And they might find one good flat Earth video, but in their suggested on the side, it's going to be nothing but anti-flat Earth forever. For them to scroll in, again, people's attention span, they're not going to scroll to find the next one. They're going to see a funny cat video or something, and they're going to click on that. So yeah, it's a great tool to help.
They'll be hanging out with Vsauce by mistake. Like, oh shit! Now it got broken.
Yeah, I was talking to Benjamin about sort of some of the YouTube antics and things like that, and he was just sort of explaining he's been on some of the biggest shows, Crow 777 and all these other different ones, and basically, out of all these different shows he's done, he's got 3,000 subs, and he's been on huge shows and things like that. So it's crazy, just just how suppressed.
Censorship is real. Yeah, the censorship is real for sure. THC Anthony.
Oh my goodness. Dude, you can spell his channel exactly like it's supposed to be spelled and can't find his fucking channel.
Will not come up. Yep. It's he's showing people how to make medicine out of hemp. Mm-hmm. And they do not want that out there. They let him put up the videos, but like you said, he doesn't get subscribers. He doesn't get, and he's been out there and talk. We've had him on our show, but they make it so you can't find it. This is them using that, that magic on us.
I know, and if you don't blow up after being on our show,
Yeah,
all
and
this
like imagine how
Kazakhstan
many
stuff.
actual subs you have, Zach. I mean, you've been on shows and things like that as well, and now you're on Dave's app, and you know how much reach does that have? I mean, it's probably way larger than we're actually,
Yeah,
even
no doubt.
figuring.
Well, just
honestly,
within our little tight knit flat community, we know sort of the numbers. You know what I mean? And the fact that that's not reflected on anybody's channel speaks volume. Even like
this
Glowbusters that has huge numbers comparative, it's still not anywhere nearly where it should be.
Well, yeah, when Glowbusters went to D Live that time, strictly D Live, no YouTube, they had 2,200 viewers on a platform that gets 1/10 of 1% of YouTube's.
Oh, wow.
So it over doubled
Yep.
viewers in one go. It wasn't like they were there for months and months and months. The very first show, it doubled on another platform. So that tells you right there that something's wrong. The numbers we're getting from YouTube are very askew, to say the least.
Speaking of flat out Ward, shout out to the Flat Earth Clock app over there on the TFR chat. I see you, brother, and intrigued character as well. Welcome and thank you for hanging out in the diehard area. That is definitely for the warriors there. Bit of a struggle sometimes, but we see you, Dave. What's up, brother?
Yeah, and like I was talking about earlier, David using these methods, I don't see it as wrong. You're using magic, but in a good way. You're not using it to deceive and to lie to people. You're using it to wake them up and enlighten them. So, all these different ways of reaching people and grabbing their attention, it's not evil unless you use it in an evil way. When your message is good and pure, then these things help. They do. They help break people out of these spells. So
yeah, but you're
a
also
lot of
making
people
it
think of it like,
enjoyable.
oh, yeah, that too. But a lot of people will think of it as like, oh, we can't use their tricks. It's not a trick. It's magic.
Well, it's part of human psychology. I mean,
exactly. Yeah,
it doesn't. That's right.
And when you're doing it,
whatever works to try and help our
yeah, exactly.
Get out from under what's going on. Hell.
Yeah, we're not using bad stuff. They're using good stuff to bad ends.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. Well said.
I think it's like the Force. It's just a thing. It depends on what you do with it.
Mm-hmm.
There's no negative charges, but you know what I'm saying. I don't know. I think it's just a field of energy, and you can do good stuff with it, or you can do bad stuff with it.
Exactly. It's all about your intent.
Yeah, I think you're using them regardless. You can refine them and use them effectively, or you can just use them randomly and ineffectively, like 99% of people do.
You could be swirled by them if you have no control over them. Yep.
Yeah,
but Wilkinson. Even when I'm creating music, I'm creating it to give myself an emotional response. Now, other people will, no doubt at some stage enjoy that music as well and maybe get a different emotional response or similar ones. But, that's the nature of, being creative in that way. So I don't see it's not bad inherently. It's just something that we want to get enjoyment for. It's Yep.
Yeah, David popped in the chat over on YouTube. Says music is part of what makes us human. It's a powerful tool that is being hidden from us. Absolutely.
We are music. I mean, that's what I have thought forever. We are music that we are creating from elsewhere. That's the frequency that we coalesce into this 3D realm with is musical nature. The voice, the frequency.
Real people don't just hear music, they feel it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't feel music, then I don't know.
Well, it's like when you hear that song that gets you pumped up and it sends that shiver down your spine and it gives you those goosebumps, right? That's that music just harmonically vibrating with your pineal gland, and your pineal gland is just saying, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And it's just sending all that energy out right through your limbs. Yeah, music is an amazing, amazing thing. But we need to get David.
I love it when that happens.
We need to get David Weiss on here one of these weeks. You know, I think it's David and I are single-handedly responsible for converting half of the St. Louis Cardinals.
Last time we had him on, he was like, "This is weird, guys. I'm used to, talking to people about flat Earth and explaining to them. Yeah, Dave's the teacher. He is, and he's great at it. But he was like, I'm not sure what to say. You guys are already flat earthers, and
Just come hang out, my man. I'm glad you found us.
I want to know what he does to get rid of all that negativity. Doing all those interviews and dealing with all the Globers and having to put up with all the attacks. How, once he gets off those calls, does he release all that energy because he's not a dick on air for the most part. He stays reasonably calm.
I love how he does it, though.
Yeah, I'd like to know how he
scared to
vents it out.
Shoot it right back at him. You're just brainwashed, He'll just say it flat out in like a nice way, and people don't take offense to it. Unless they're soy boy, NASA fanboys. He'll tell them flat out, no, you're just brainwashed. Look at it. Use your common sense, your logic. I love it when they say, well, no, we can't trust our senses. It's like, what are you talking about? So you're trading in your senses for nonsense.
Yeah, well, that's what they did. That's the whole game of what they play. It's saying don't believe your senses. Don't trust your eyes. Don't trust that you don't feel anything moving. All that stuff. That's what they're doing. They say believe us. We're in the white coats, or we've got the special gear to have a look and tell you what it really is. It's just a joke.
You guys want to see if we can't get David in here real quick?
We've only got about 8 minutes.
8 minutes?
It would be just a letdown to only have him for those brief few minutes at the end here, but definitely glad you're hanging out with us, friend. And as I said there in chat, just reach out. I know you're always on the go making it happen, doing interviews, so just let us know when you have some time to hang out on a Friday morning, Friday afternoon, Tuesday morning, you name it.
And I think maybe, I don't know, man, by Thursday, David, your voice is starting to go like every week. Maybe take a Wednesday. I don't know. Well, you're a big boy. You know what you're doing. But yeah, I've noticed like Thursday, Friday interviews, your voice is just about shot. It's getting stronger. It's getting less and less shot every time. Now you're not losing it so much. You just have like a little cough in your throat. But yeah, the Thursday, Friday interviews, you can tell you've been doing this a lot throughout the week. You've been talking a lot to people.
Lots of honey.
Get on those organic veggie juices. There they go. Right. That'll keep you right and strong. I've been doing that for the last few days. I'm like, where's this been in my life? So yeah, juice it every day. It's brilliant. Energy.
So we're about 5-6 minutes out here, folks. This was a fun one. I had trouble getting up today again. I don't know what it is. Something with the energy.
I know. It's like we're harping on that, I know, and we say it every week, but it just seems like it's getting crazier and crazier. And it's actually getting crazier for the people around me, the normies, if you will, who normally aren't as sensitive to energetic changes as I am or we are in our groups here. Folks just in the normies, they have mentioned it to me as well, the strange energy, the strange feelings, the strange dreams. Oh, the astral plane is off the chart right now. Yeah, it's pretty hectic.
Yeah, well, I don't know if any of David's interviews are going to be live today, but he's pretty good about letting us know. So scouts, keep an eye out. I will drop the link if he has any live shows today. I'll drop the link in
our Twitter groups.
Twitter group.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sometimes it helps, sometimes it doesn't, but it never hurts to go over there and just hit the subscribe button and hit the little bell notification for all and see if it works. I don't know. YouTube's kind of janky that way.
Mm-hmm. Especially while we're playing around here on this backup channel. My goodness, being punished as we are. And go hit Lucas's channel, LC King. Go hit Good Times for All. Go hit Josh Corey of the Realm. What is it?
There's not really anything over there. The only thing over there's the one video that's got like 30,000 views on it or something. It's just well, it was once upon a time. It's on Facebook years and years ago. Some lady was having trouble with CPS, and she was trying to get the word out, and YouTube kept taking her video down. So she was asking for people just to re-upload her video so it can get the word out. So I did it, and it's just kind of been sitting there doing nothing. And everybody's been watching it. It's got a lot of views to it, but yeah, I don't ever pay any attention to the channel. If you really want to get a hold of me personally, really the best bet's do it through Ironworx Media. Anything else is liable to get lost in the shuffle. But you have to just put attention, whoever it is you want to refer to there in the subject line at ironworxmedia@gmail.com. And that's a little bit easier for us to get to. Not that we'll respond right away or at all, but, we do pretty much read them.
And as everyone there in chat, Robert's complaining about notification joke that rarely works, and Dawn saying she needs to go back through and check her subscriptions to make sure she's still subbed to everybody. Always a great idea. Always a great idea. Go to a friend's channel you trust, go through their channel subs, and see how many red subscriptions that are now unsubscribed for you. You'll be shocked.
Yep.
Yeah, well, I've probably forgot all my channels that I've subbed to, so it doesn't really help me.
Right, that's what I'm saying. You won't remember the ones you had or not, but if you go to a friend's channel and check out what they're subbed to, if you trust their taste, generally you'll see at least half of theirs you should be subbed to and have been in the past. And it's just YouTube trying to help you keep all that clean. They don't want you to be overloaded with too much information. I mean, come on, they're helping you guys.
So I'm going to drop the link in chat. Let's see, it's 7 o'clock, so 1 o'clock would be 5 hours. 5 hours from now, David should be live on an interview on this channel. I'm going to drop it in there for y'all. I hope to see y'all over there.
It's good.
And big
good
shout
fun to
out
get in there.
All the people who, oh crap, I didn't put it in there. But all the people who
I was waiting, Zach.
Listen to the show, Pav, Salamo, all these people we haven't seen in a little while. I just want to shout them. Angelo, haven't heard from you in a while, man. John, the gentleman I met at Flattoberfest. I hope to see you here in a couple weeks, man. Yeah, there's so many people that we don't see or hear from ever, but they're out there listening every show. Mm-hmm. And we may not hear about it like through social media or anything like that, but it's crazy when you go to these meetups and these festivals and stuff. I couldn't believe how many people talked about Ironworx. So yeah, thank you all out there who are listening, and we just don't know you're out there, but you are.
Right.
So thanks.
We do know you're
Much
out there because we feel it and we know it. And, not everybody has the time to sit and yibber yabber in the chat with us and to hang out with us on these channels.
And
but
the
listening
hours,
and
not
watching,
the greatest hour.
we appreciate it. Well, there is
It's all right for me, Zach. Right.
Yeah, no worries over on that end.
Yeah, we are.
Be looking for Dave over there on the Sandy Bravo channel here in a few hours, as you said there. I can't wait to check that out myself. Well, thank you all. Thank you so much. This conversation today has been amazing. Always. The electrical possibilities just seem, every time we think we got a handle on it, one of you guys mentions something that just breaks it open a whole different way. So thank you for that. And I will share those pictures in the show picture today.
Yeah, cool. Go for it.
Well, all righty, y'all. That about does it. I love y'all. You guys have a great day,
guys.
evening.
Love
Be
you guys.
kind, be nice.
Make
Go
good
say hi to a
choices.
tree. You know? Yeah. Take 10 minutes and go visit nature and
Yeah,
focus
kick
on
your
it.
shoes off, earth out.
Yeah, you'll feel better.
You will. I did it yesterday in some nice sunny weather, so it's nice to have it. Of course, it's back to cool again today, but love you guys. Thank you all.
Absolutely love you guys. Thank you for an awesome Tuesday morning here on the Ironworx Truth Frequency Radio, simulcast across the plane to all the various platforms. But we'll see you right back here on Friday for another exciting episode of the Ironworx. In the meantime, be good, be well. We love you. Stay human while you're at it. Bye-bye.